Okay, so today we're going to make a prime rib roasted. I've got a 6.8 pound rib bone in prime rib. And what I'm going to do with that is we're going to make this herb butter. And basically what it is some softened butter. Just let it sit out and warm up. I got about a tablespoon and a half of dry thyme, about a tablespoon and a half of chopped fresh rosemary. I've got some really coarse, let's see if you can see that, really coarse ground pepper. I put my pepper grinder to the highest setting, and about 2 tablespoons of that, and a tablespoon and a half of granulated garlic. Okay, so I'm just going to put all that in there and mix that up, and then we're going to rub it on this beautiful looking prime rib here and bake it on this tray. Now, normally I put this in a bigger pan with higher sides. I'm a little bit worried about the size of this pan, but last time I did this I just put it flat on the pan, and the bottom part by the bone was a little bit too rare. So I thought I'd just raise it up. It can't hurt to raise it up any, and I just thought maybe some more heat can get under there and cook a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to weigh our rib, and like I said, mine's 6.8 ounces, and we're going to multiply that by 5 minutes per pound. I meant 6.8 pounds, not ounces. So, and that worked out to 34 minutes exactly. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to cook it on preheated oven to 500 degrees, and we're going to cook it for exactly 34 minutes at 500 degrees, and then after that I'm just going to shut the oven off and let it sit for exactly 2 hours. And don't open the oven, don't do anything, just let it go for 34 minutes, shut it off, let it sit for 2 hours, and it's ready to serve. Incidentally, I forgot to mention, if you are going to use this method of 5 minutes per pound at 500 and then leaving it off for 2 hours, your ribs should be at room temperature. I've had this sitting out all morning, at least 4 or 5 hours, so it should be pretty close to room temperature. So that's the only way this works, is if your meat is at room temperature. So make sure that you plan ahead. Okay, so what I did first was just sprinkled it with some kosher salt, got a nice coating on there. I've mixed up my herb butter, and I just want to cover the whole thing. I'm not going to show every step, but once this is all covered up and ready to go back in, but just cover all sides, get it on the sides, top, bottom, everything. I'm just getting the bottom right now so I can flip it over, throw it onto my rack, and then get the top last. So let me come back right before it's ready to go in the oven so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so here she is, all frosted up like a cake. So I just made sure that I coated it all as evenly as possible. I actually used my spatula here to spread it out a little thinner and use the rest of what was in the bowl. Incidentally, if you were wondering, it's about 1.5 sticks of butter for almost a 7-pound rib, and it worked out just perfect. I wouldn't want that any thinner. I'd want a thicker layer than that. So that's as thin as I would want it spread on there, and I used every last drop. So keep that in mind, that the bigger the rib, the more the butter, and of course, smaller the rib, you could actually put a little more on there. It doesn't have to be that thin. Now I'm going to throw this into my preheated 500 degree oven. I've got this about as hot as it can get. It takes a while to heat up, and I'm not going to show that on video. I want two hands, and I want to be able to put that thing in there as quick as I can, meaning that I don't want to lose as little as possible heat coming out of the oven. So I got to do that very quickly, and that's what you want to do as well. You don't want to let that oven temperature drop very much at all. So take care whenever you are putting that in, that you don't let all that heat out. So I'm going to throw this in. I'm going to set the timer for 34 minutes. Once the timer rings, I'm going to show you that I'll turn the camera back on and show you that I do not open the oven. Just let it sit, and go ahead and continue prepping the rest of your dinner. So the buzzer just rang. You see I have it here at 500. I'm just going to switch that to off. Notice I didn't open it or anything. You can't really see it in there. Oven's kind of dirty. But you can't see it anyway. The light's always flashing too light. So I'm just going to let that sit there now, and I'm going to reset this for, well, this doesn't go to 2 hours, but at 4:30 it will be ready. So I'm just going to let it sit there till 4:30. So it's been 2 hours. We have our rib ready to go, and looks like the bottom pan held up pretty good, and there it is. I'm going to cut it up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we are. I've taken the ribs off, and now we're just going to cut ourselves a piece and see what she looks like. Should be medium rare all the way through. And let's see how she looks. Yeah, oh yeah. Zoom in on that. Zoom in on that. Yes. That is exactly the way we want it. A nice medium rare all the way through. And that's good for the end cut. That's a good end cut right there. Okay, so here's my drippings from the pan. And I'm just going to add a little flour, not much. Oh, shoot. That's way too much. Let me see if I can't scoop some of that out of there. And what I'm going to do here is just sort of lightly whisk this drippings with the I got it on medium high heat, and my idea here is to just kind of lightly whisk this, work in the flour, and then add some beef stock to it. I know this pan ain't the greatest, but it's the one I use to cook it. And actually the pan that I use with the grate really helped out. So keep that in mind if you have a problem with those with the bottom part not being too cooked, or not being cooked enough. So it definitely did help out a lot. And I'm going to let this cook down a little bit. I'm also going to add a little darkener. It's in the fridge. I'll get that. Alright, so here's the darkener. I'm just going to add a little bit. Again, it's a browning seasoning. It's a little sweet, so be careful with that. You don't want to use too much. It doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. It's got a sweet flavor to it. And just use it to darken it up.